Welcome back. In this video, we will look at lesson 11.2 on automating web browsers, specifically the Google Chrome web browser. All right, so let's do that. The objective is that students will automate the web browser Google Chrome with Selenium. Selenium automates web browsers. What you do with that power is entirely up to you, like they say here in their tagline. It's primarily intended for automating web applications for testing purposes to make sure links work and pages are working correctly, but it is certainly not limited to just that. And we're going to use it to get data out of websites that is only made available after JavaScript has run. That's why we want to use it, to get basically human generated text. Python has a wrapper called, you guessed it, Selenium with the lowercase s. Is the module that you'll need to pip install. And so again, in PyCharm, you'd come up to your preferences window. On Windows, you'd go to File, Settings, and then here's your preferences window. Go to Python, Python colon your project, or excuse me, project colon your project name, and then Python interpreter. And then you would find the plus sign, wherever it is on this window, and search for Selenium. Selenium here, just one word. Install the package. I've done this previously, but I'll just do it again. Good. Okay, terrific. And then, so yeah, like I mentioned, we want to automate web browsers so that we get more human generated text that comes back from the server, like with an AJAX or a WebSockets request back to the server. If that's all Greek to you, here's an example. If we go to YouTube, and I go to YouTube's homepage and I type in Dude Perfect, the YouTube group that is popular. Here's Dude Perfect's channel. And I click on their first link, first video here. And we have this video, cool. I'll just stop that. What I want you to watch for is at the bottom of the page. Let me just stop this so it doesn't distract us. At the bottom of the page, when I scroll down, you'll see a spinning circle, which means it's working on getting more comments. So watch at the bottom of my page. When I go down, that was so quick you can hardly see it. I'll try it again. I'm going to scroll down at the bottom of the page, look for a spinning circle at the bottom of the page there. It's like half a second or less. I'll do it one more time. Ready, set, look. Wait, there we go. It's doing so quick right there. You know, what I'm trying to show you is that when I, as a human, am interacting with this website, this web page, I get more information. And so it wouldn't work to scrape the page with requests like we did in the last lesson, because I'm not getting this information. I'm not getting these comments until I use my mouse to scroll down, right? And so we want to automate the action of scrolling down and scraping out text comments here on YouTube videos, for example, in order to get more human-generated text language. Right, for linguistic analysis or language purposes, for language analysis purposes. Okay. Here's a very basic tutorial I linked to on my lesson plan. You can take a look at this if you want in your own time, but he's basically kind of going through what I'm going to show you here. It's only 6 minutes, but it might be good to see what he does. But there's that there. All right, in order to make this work, we need to download a piece of software that is called Chrome Driver. Now, Chrome Driver is an executable file that will control Google Chrome. So it's kind of a three-step process. We're using Python and specifically the Selenium module that we just downloaded from PyCharm, right? Or if you know how to pip install, you can pip install it. And then that asks or controls a little executable file called Chrome Driver, which then controls Google Chrome to go do stuff on the internet. It's kind of a three-step process. So the middle step is this Chrome Driver executable file. And if you click on the link here on my lesson plan or just Google up Chrome Driver, you should get to this page. And you can see that there are a couple of versions. There's the latest beta release and the latest stable release. Now, this is really important here. I have a highly important note right here on my lesson plan. Make sure the version of Chrome Driver that you download has the same version number as your Google Chrome browser. Otherwise, you'll get an error message like this version of Chrome driver only supports Chrome version something else. The current version is something else. Okay, so what I mean is open up Chrome. We need to double check and double check that we have the latest stable release of Chrome, of Google Chrome. So I just opened up Chrome browser, see? And if you go up to, there's a couple ways to do it, but if you go up to the 3 vertical dots here on the right side of the window, the Chrome window, let me just maximize, although I can't maximize, it'll probably be blocked. Yeah, right here, see that? If you click on that, you come down to help and then about Chrome. Once again, open up Chrome, look for the 3 vertical dots on the right, top right of the Chrome window, look for help and then about Google Chrome. And then here it says I have version 96 at the time of recording. It'll probably be different. Chrome gets updated frequently. So look at that right there, 96. I need to look at the first number before the decimal point there. Okay. So that's what I have on my computer of 96. So I come over here to Chrome driver, and you can see that the latest stable release also says 96. It says Chrome driver 96. So you download this and you get the appropriate zip file for your operating system if you're using Windows. You get the Win32 there. If you're using Mac with the Apple Silicon chip, the M1 chip, you would get the Mac 64 M1. If you're using Mac 64 with Intel chip, then you would get the Mac 64 or Linux there. You just download it, right? I've already done so, so I won't do so again. Well, I'll do so. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm downloading it. Now it should be done there. Okay. And let's see if it downloaded correctly. Yeah, so when I unzip it, on Mac, I can just double click it, but on Windows, you probably have to extract it. Right click and extract here type of thing. I end up with this executable file. Now on Mac and on Linux, it doesn't have an extension. It's just Chrome driver. But on Windows, it will have an extension. It'll say Chrome driver.exe. So that's the executable file that I need in order to make this work. And at this point, I don't need the zip file because I have this executable file out of it. Okay, so we've done all of this. Again, if you're having problems with what we just did, you need to stop and make sure and work out the problems and get that done. Downloading Selenium correctly, downloading and unzipping the Google, the Chrome driver executable file there. Okay. So just a couple things about how to use it. We'll do it together here in a minute, but a couple notes about how to use this. Implicit waits cause the driver, which is the thing that controls Google Chrome, where it goes and what it does. Implicit waits cause the driver to wait up to a certain number of seconds while trying to locate an element. So let's look at the documentation here. They say here, implicit wait tells WebDriver to pull the DOM or the document object model for a certain amount of time when trying to find an element or elements not immediately available. The default setting is 0. Once set, the implicit wait is set for the life of the WebDriver object. So like, for example, here they set it to 10. So it'll wait 10 seconds while it's trying, not wait, but it'll try for 10 seconds to find an element that you're saying, hey, find this element on the page. Because as you know, web pages may take a second or two or some time to actually load up on your computer. But if Python's trying to find an element on that web page, but it's not yet there, that could cause a problem. And so this implicitly wait function says, keep trying that for up to 10 seconds. And if you don't get it in 10 seconds, then we will error out. So we'll use an implicit wait in our code in a minute. And elements or tags on a web page can be located in a number of ways. By the ID attribute, if a tag has an attribute of ID, by XPath syntax. We saw XPath syntax previously. By the text of a link, or part of the text of a link, a partial link text. Or by the name of the HTML tag, or by the class attribute name, if it has a class attribute, or by CSS selector. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet Selector. So let's take a look there real quick. This is how to locate items. Now, I will point out that the ones that are at the top of this page at time of recording are deprecated, which means that they are the old way to do it, and they will likely be removed from Selenium. So the way you need to do it is down here where it says find element, make this bigger. Find element or elements, right? One or all. Well, that is the first or all elements on a page. So the way you do that is from Selenium WebDriver, comment by, import by, and then you say driver, find element or elements, depending on if you want all of them or just the first one, then by dot, and then one of those various ways. So XPath, for example, is one way. The ID of the attribute ID, the ID attribute, that is, like I just mentioned, the link text or the partial link text or other ways down here. Okay, so you pass that into right here. You pass in a string with whatever it is, whether it's XPath syntax or an ID or a class name or a CSS selector, if you know what that is, right? So again, I'm just to point out, these are deprecated. Don't use those. Do it this way down here, and I'll show you that. Okay. Yeah, that's my note right there. Okay, and you can write in, well, write in quotes, you can kind of put into a search box text with the .send keys method of an element after you've located the element using find element or find elements. Probably find element singular, right? And you can click on a button or a link with a .click method of an element. So it's imitating using the keyboard to enter in text into a search box on a web page and using or imitating the action of clicking with the mouse. That's what we can do programmatically with Python. Okay, so here's the first practice. Let's jump right into some practice here. First one says, write a Python script to open up a Google Chrome window, navigate to the homepage of YouTube, wait 5 seconds, and close down the window. We'll just start out pretty simple here. Okay, so give that a try. Google around, look at the documentation I linked to. Google's, go to Stack Overflow and just try and figure out how to do that, or look at that video. Give a good faith effort on trying to make that work for a couple of minutes, and then we'll look at it together. Okay, ready, set, pause. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at how to do this first little exercise. I will explain the code a bit and then we'll let it go. Okay, so up here, first of all, I import sleep from the time module. It's a base Python module to have it like stop for a second so we can see what it's doing. Then from Selenium, I import WebDriver, and then from Selenium, I import a service, the service function here. Okay, so on line 6, I use that service function and I pass in the pathway to the executable file of the Google Chrome, the Chrome driver executable file on my hard drive. Once again, on Mac and Linux, it won't have an extension, but on Windows, it'll probably be something like this. This pathway obviously is not the correct one for your computer, but it'll probably be on the C drive, right? And then somewhere on your computer, maybe your user's NetID downloads. I'm not sure where it is, but the point I want to get across here is that it'll say Chrome driver.exe on Windows, something like that. Okay. So again, on line 6, we're passing in the pathway as a string to the Chrome driver executable file into the service object. We'll just save it to I'll just save it to a variable called service there. On line 7, I use WebDriver.Chrome, capital C there. I don't miss that capital C. Then I pass in my service variable into the argument service like that. And then here I specify that I want it to implicitly wait up to 10 seconds, or not wait, but try for 10 seconds to try and locate elements on the page. Also, I want to maximize the Google Chrome window just so I can see more of it. And then here is where I actually move or go to a web page. I have driver.get and then the URL to the web page. I'll go to YouTube for this first demo. You can see I'm specifying the whole pathway, https://www.youtube.com. Okay. And then I want it to sleep. I want the script to just sleep there for 5 seconds so we can see the homepage of YouTube for 5 seconds and just make sure it's working. Then I close it down and quit the driver. Okay, so if I run this, fingers crossed that everything works well. Chrome driver cannot be opened because Apple cannot check it for malicious software. Okay, here's a problem with Mac. This is for Mac. They have a heightened level of security on Macs these days. So what you need to do is come over to your system level preferences on Mac. This is for Mac users only. If you come up here to the Apple system preferences, and you look for the security and privacy, it looks like a house with a little lock combination thing on the front right there. You can see here it says, hey, Chrome driver was blocked from use because it is not from an identified developer. And here on the right, it says allow anyway. So I'm gonna say, yeah, allow anyway. I trust this developer. Okay, now I come back here. I'm gonna run my script again, keyboard shortcut on my keyboard. And still, again, it says, hey, Chrome driver cannot be opened because Apple cannot check it for malicious software. This software needs to be updated. Contact the developer for information. But then I say, just open anyway. There's a button here that says open. So I say open anyway, just go for it. I'm serious, it's all right. And then if everything goes well, it should open up a Google Chrome window and go to YouTube. And let's see, here it goes, maximized it, goes to YouTube and just waits 5 seconds and shuts down. Should shut down here. There we go. Okay. So there you go. That is the first practice exercise. If you want to look at the entirety of my code, I'll expose it here on the screen, or if you want to look at it in my solution file, that would work as well. So from lines 2 to 14, do what I just did. Okay. Well, let's ramp it up and do something more. Now let's modify your script to enter text in the search box at the top of the screen. Click the search button with the magnifying glass, wait 5 seconds, and then close down the window. A hint here, you can see the HTML element of specific elements of a web page by right-clicking and selecting inspect or similar. So let me show you what I mean by that. If I come back to the homepage of YouTube, and I put I already have Dude Perfect in here, but let me just get rid of that. Here's the search box, right? If I right-click right on the search box, right within it, and click inspect, I can see that this is an input tag. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I can see that search box is created by the input tag right there. Input ID equals search. Okay, that'll be useful. So we need to locate that element and then send keys in of Dude Perfect, meaning send in Dude Perfect as a string to send keys after locating the element. And that's the name of the tag input. And there's an attribute of ID with the value of search. Okay. And then if you right click right on the magnifying glass here up on the top of, I'm back at the top of YouTube. I right click right on the button, right on the magnifying glass and do inspect. Let me do that. Okay. What it actually brings up here is a YT icon. I don't want that. I want the button. The button is interactable. I can click on a button tag, but I can't click on the YT-icon tag. And so that YT icon is simply the image of a magnifying glass within the button tag. Now the button tag is interactable. So button with an ID of, with the attribute of ID, the value of search-icon-legacy. Okay, so that, using that information and using how to locate elements, using this information this way here, what you're gonna do is modify your script in order to enter text into the search box on the top of the screen, of the YouTube screen. Click on the search button that has a little magnifying glass in it, although click on the button itself, not the icon. Wait 5 seconds and then close down. Okay, so give that a try. Ready, set, pause the video. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at that, how I approach that. there's one new thing here right there. So this line 5, this is a new import statement. I'm importing by, so I can use it below. This is all the same from before. Okay. And line 12 is the same. We go to YouTube by saying .get, driver.get. And then here I just put dude perfect into a string variable there on 14, or excuse me, 13. And then on 14, this is where I find element singular. So if it's a singular, like if it's find element, not find elements, it finds the first one if there is more than one, or the only one if there's only one. So here I use the by that I imported on line 5 above, dot XPath. I pass in some XPath. Now, once again, XPath, like we saw in a previous lesson, is a way to search for an element on an HTML page or an XML page. And what this means is the 2 slashes there mean anywhere in the document, find an input tag, and that input tag should have an attribute of ID, and the value of that attribute of ID should be search. Once you found that, send in keys, that is right in the search term that's being held on 13, that is dude perfect. Once you do that, find by XPath the button anywhere on the document, the 2 slashes means anywhere on the document, find the button, the first button tag, and that button tag should have an ID, an attribute of ID, and the value of that attribute ID should be search icon dash legacy, search dash icon dash legacy. Once you found it, click on it, and then just sleep for 5 seconds. Okay, so if I run this now, let's take a look. Here it goes. It's doing it so quickly, you can't, like each step is done so quickly that it's hard to see what's even happening here. But now it should put in at the top, yeah, dude perfect there at the top. Look, I'm not doing it. No hands, mom. This is all automated. And then clicked on it and then it shut down. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put in some more sleeps here so we can see what's actually happening. This does it so quickly, it's hard to see what's even going on. Let's put a 3-second sleep in there. Okay, let's put a 3-second sleep in there. How about here and down here? I'm just simply doing this so we can see that it work. It does it so quickly, it's hard to see what's going on. So let's rerun it. Keyboard shortcut to run the script again. Now it's going to open up a window, wait 3 seconds. It's going to maximize it. Maximized it. Then it went to YouTube. Now it should find the search box at the top there and type in dude perfect there. Now it should find the magnifying glass button and click on it. Good. Now we're at dude perfect's page and it should wait 5 seconds and then shut down. Yeah, there we go. That wasn't 5 seconds, but okay, so that worked. If you'd like to stop the video and make that work on your end, that would be good to make sure you understand what's going on here. Good. The implicit wait here is important because without it, it wouldn't find the element because the page wouldn't be fully loaded. But with the implicitly wait up to 10 seconds, it will wait until it finds it, then it'll go for it. I purposely put in those sleeps just so we could see it working because it does it so quickly. Okay. So the new stuff from the previous, new stuff that we added from the previous practices are lines 13 to 15 there. Okay, so if you want to pause the video and do that, go for it. Okay, let's modify your script some more. Modify your script to click on the first video on the page at Dude Perfect's channel. Go to that specific video, wait 5 seconds, and then close the window. Now I'd encourage you to inspect and click on the title of the video, not the thumbnail. So what I mean by that, back over here at Dude Perfect, let me go back to Dude Perfect's, let me just go Dude Perfect here, Dude Perfect right there. And what I'd encourage you to do is to click on the link here, not the thumbnail. So if you inspect right on the link, you can see that, well, you're going to have to click on the anchor tag. An anchor tag, the A tag like that, says there's a tag called A, which is anchor, has an ID of video title. I encourage you to click on that, meaning programmatically click on that rather than this stuff down here. This YT formatted string is not interactable. The YT icon is not either, I don't believe. But if you click on this, that should get you into the first video. Okay. So once again, what we're going to do is you're going to modify your script to click on the first video. I would, again, recommend you click on the title, not the thumbnail, and then wait 5 seconds and shut down. Okay. Ready, set, give it a try. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at how to do that. All right, the new stuff, there's only one new line. Line 18 is the new thing from the previous exercise. I mean, since then, that's the only new thing. And again, I'm using XPath. What I'm doing here with the double slashes, that means anywhere in the document, find an anchor tag, which is an A tag. And then within square brackets, I say that anchor tag should have an attribute. The @ means attribute of ID. And the value of that attribute of ID should be video title. Let me just jump back real quick to YouTube with my browser to show you what I'm talking about. Right there. See that? There's an anchor tag or an A tag. There's an attribute of ID. The value of that attribute is video-title. So that's what I'm having Selenium find with this XPath syntax right here. Okay, and then we'll have it shut down, or we'll have it wait 5 seconds, then shut down. Okay, so let's let it run. Here it goes. Keyboard shortcut on my hard drive or on my keyboard. Good, it's going. It's loading up YouTube. It should find the search box and put do perfect in, and then click on the magnifying glass to the right. There we go. There we go. Good, now we're there. Now it clicked on the first one. I did so quickly.
You want things to be on autopilot.
Hard to see what's even happening without a little nap, a little sleep. Let me just real quick put a sleep in there. Let's say after here, let's have it sleep for 3 seconds so we can see it has typed in. And then right here, let's have it sleep for another 3 seconds. Let me run that script again, rerun it. Going, good, moving along. YouTube, type in do perfect in the search box. There we go. Now click on the button over there on the next to the right, on the right of it. Good, wait 3 seconds, then click on the first link, and it did. Now we're at the actual video
first, but steady
of the, there we go. Then it's shut down. Okay. So again, the new thing is what is now line 20. Let me put it back to where it was. The new line since the previous exercise is line 18. Right there. Okay. If you want to pause the video, go ahead and do so now. All right, let's move on to the next one. Modify your script to scroll down a lot so that more comments are loaded. It's actually a two-step process. First, you scroll down a little bit, and then you scroll down a lot. Now, let me show you what I mean by that. I don't know if you know, but you can, within, like, I'm here at YouTube, right? Let me go to the most recent video from Do Perfect here. And you can actually issue JavaScript commands. JavaScript is another programming language that is a client-side programming scripting language for web pages. Anyway, let me just show you what I mean. If I come up to, I'm using Brave, which is a Chrome derivative, but if you come up to the 3 dots on the top right, which you probably can't see because I bet my face is right there. You come up here to the 3 dots or the 3 bars here and go down to more tools and then developer tools. It opens up at the bottom here, this stuff, there's this developer stuff. And the second one over is console. And you can actually issue JavaScript commands in here. So if I do Windows scroll by, open parentheses, and on the x-axis, meaning left and right, I don't want it to scroll at all. So I'll put 0 there. But on the y-axis, I want it to go down, let's say 300 pixels. And I close it out with a semicolon like that. Now, when I push enter on my keyboard, you should see that the web page will scroll down a little bit. Ready, set, see that? It scrolled down a little bit. Now, if I do it again, up arrow, enter, it does it some more. Okay, so you can control the window with JavaScript. And you can control the web page through Google Chrome with Selenium from Python. Okay, so you may want to Google, how do I issue a JavaScript command to through Selenium to a web page? And again, if you want, this is the code. This is the little bit of JavaScript that you'll need. Window dot scroll by with capital B, open parentheses 0, and then comma, and then 300. So the 0 is the x-axis, left and right. The next number, the 300, is the y-axis, up and down. Okay. So give that a try. Try to modify your script to scroll down first a little bit, then a lot. Ready, set, give it a try. Welcome back. Let's take a look on how to do that. That should do it. The only new thing, the new things are right here, lines 21 through 26. And I think it's important to actually sleep a little bit here right after you click into the first video. After this click here, after we find the anchor tag ID video title and click it, I think it's important to sleep here to let it fully load. I've had to put that in to make it work. And then on 22, I say driver.execute script. And so I can execute a script, which is a JavaScript here. And I'm just using that same syntax I used over in YouTube a minute ago, right? Window.scroll by capital B, the x-axis, meaning don't scroll left or right at all, but scroll down 300 pixels. And then sleep for 3 seconds to let the first little batch of comments load from YouTube. And then once that is done, I want you to scroll a lot. Scroll down 10,000 pixels so that you hit that trigger at the bottom where that spinning circle goes. It's called an AJAX request. It's going to get more comments from YouTube and bring it back to the web page. Okay, so if we let this run, here we go. Keyboard shortcut, here we go. Going out there to YouTube, good. And it should type in do perfect and click on the magnifying glass there. Good, now we are at Dude Perfect's page. We click so quickly.
Do something small to do something big. Join our study at her
page, and then scroll down a little bit, and then a lot. Okay, and then it should shut down. Good. Okay. So I'm not totally sure why we need to scroll down a little bit. You can't just scroll down a lot at the beginning. It doesn't seem to work. Perhaps I'm doing it incorrect. I'm not sure, but I've had to just have it scroll down a bit and wait. Like scroll down a little bit and get the first little batch, and then scroll down a lot to get more. Okay. So again, the only new thing from the previous exercise are lines 22 to 26. If you want to stop the video, make it work on your end. Or you can look at this in my solution file as well. All right. Last practice exercise, modify your script to scrape out the comments and put them in, or just print them in, or to the Python console in PyCharm or wherever you use Python. Okay, so in this case, you're going to have to inspect these comments. So let me just scroll down. Let's get rid of this for a second. Just scroll down and figure out what if you right click and look at inspect, right? What element is holding this? We got YT formatted string ID content text. I'll tell you right now that the ID, the attribute of ID with the value of content dash text is important. That will identify these comments. Okay, so locate that, and then you'll need to Google how to extract text out of an element. I'll give you a little hint. Once you find the element, you get the dot text attribute out of it. Okay. Again, our last practice exercise, this one right here. Modify your script to scrape out the comments from below a YouTube video, and then just print them to the console. Ready, set, give it a try. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at how I approach that. Copy that. This is from my solution file. This is all the same. The only new thing is right in here. down here in 20 from 27 to 31. Okay, so this time we're finding elements, plural. There's an S right there. See that? Previously, we're just finding element. Let me back up a bit. We were just finding element singular. See that? Element singular, singular. Now we're finding elements with an S right there. And we can use the XPath. So the XPath again says anywhere in the document, find any element that has an attribute of ID, and the value of that attribute is content-text, like that. Okay. But because I know from experience that YouTube, the only elements that have an ID of content-text are the actual elements that hold human generated text. I could actually use the find elements by ID like I do on 29. I have it commented out because it's doing the same thing as 28. I just do it a different way. On 28, I use XPath to be very, very explicit. Like I want this, with that. Whereas here on 29, I just say find any element that has an ID, an attribute of ID, the value of which is content-text. It gives me the same result. So let's run it. Here we go. Keyboard shortcut. Let me make my console bigger down here so we can see it do stuff. Well, let me stop it because let me rerun it so that we can see Chrome open up. Keyboard shortcut. Here we go. Here we go. Open up, maximize, go to YouTube, find the search box, type in Dude Perfect. There it is. Click on magnifying glass. Good. Click on the first link. Now we're in the first video link. Now we're here. Baby got back. Mute. Scroll down a bit, scroll down a lot. And then we should scrape those out. Yeah, we scraped them out. Now they're over here in our Python console. See this? The reason they are so excited after one shot is they finally made it. Smiley faces there. Anyway, so you can see if we just go back over there with our web browser. I'm on the same, I'm on the same thing. If I just say, what's the word I should search for? I'll just search for excited. Yeah, right there. The reason they are so excited after one shot is they finally made it. See that comment from this person 6 days ago at time of recording. So grab that and script it out and put it into my Python console. Now, obviously I could push this out to the hard drive as a TXT file and do some analysis later with it. And I only did one big scroll right here. See that? I only did one big scroll. So I didn't get a whole lot of comments here. But so there's not a whole lot of comments. Now I could have had it scroll a lot, right? And I could have said, okay, well, I want it to scroll not just one big time, but let's say like 5 times. And what I could do is I could say, okay, let's go into a for loop over a range up to 5 from 0 up to 4 indexes, and then just indent those one like that. And so what's going to happen here is that it's going to scroll, wait for 3 seconds and scroll again. It should do it 5 times. So I should get more comments, as this video has many, like thousands of comments. Let me rerun the script and let's watch it do that. Good. Go over here. Good. Type in Dude Perfect, click on magnifying glass. Look, mom, no hands. It's doing it all automatedly. Good. Come in here. Let me mute it. I don't want to hear. Mute that right there. Good. Scroll down a bit. Scroll down a lot. Wait 3 seconds. Scroll down a lot. Get some more. Wait 3 seconds. Scroll down a lot again, etc. Do it 5 times. And then finally scrape out the comments and print them to the console in Python and PyCharm. And then shut down everything. Good. So now we should have many more comments down here. Yeah, we got comments from Dude Perfect. Man, DP videos are absolutely insane. Great to see Logan back here. Fireworks, cool. Anyway, a lot more comments in here now after scrolling 5 times. Okay. So again, the new thing is down here, and I did a kind of a extra new thing with this little bit of this little for loop to have this run 5 times, these 2 lines to run 5 times. But the new part here for this exercise is right there. Again, if I had used line, what is now 30, instead of 29, it would have given us the same results. Because I know from experience that the only elements on those pages that have an attribute of ID are those that hold human generated comments. But so anyway, I left it there commented out just so you can see there's different approaches to get at to locate an element. Okay, if you want to pause the video and make it work on your end, that's the new stuff down in here, or you can look at my solution file. Okay, well, that brings us to an end of this lesson 11.2, and you should now be able to automate the web browser Google Chrome with Selenium. As always, I'm super happy to help. If you get stuck, come into my office hour or that of my TA. All right, see you next time.